The wait is over. Iowa is here.
We will make America great again.
Don't we want somebody that will over deliver rather than under deliver for a change?
Nikki Haley.
Join with me in this fight. I promise you that our best days are yet to come.
What do we actually stand for?
Who will win the first in the nation primary? The 2024 GOP primary starts right now.
Well, we at least know who won the Iowa Caucus. That was quick. I thought we'd get results in like another hour or so, and it's already done. Hey, I'm Mike Slater here on The First TV. Welcome. The question now is, who got second and how far behind? How much did Trump win by? The record of victory in Iowa was back in 1988. Bob Dole over Pat Buchanan. Bob Dole won by 12 points. The final poll for Trump, that was out yesterday, Trump was up by 28 points. So we'll see if Donald Trump can beat the Bob Dole victory from 1988. So we have 2 hours of coverage here, lots of angles, lots of questions, lots of things still be determined and decided. We're grateful you're here. We're going to pick up this coverage bright and early tomorrow morning when we now simulcast Breitbart News Daily. I'm the host of that radio show from SiriusXM Patriot, and we'll be doing that from 7 to 9 every weekday morning starting tomorrow. Grateful you are here, and we're grateful that Liz Harrington is here, spokesperson for Donald J. Trump. Liz, was there any doubt tonight, ma'am?
Hey, good to see you. No, not at all. And certainly we've never seen a call that quickly. I think that says it all. I mean, CNN had to be quite shocked themselves and saying, we're already calling it. But that's because the fake news has been trying to make this a horse race. It really, frankly, hasn't been from the beginning. The people want President Trump, and we're really happy of what we're seeing tonight.
Some entrance polls. Usually they have exit polls, but for the caucus, they have entrance polls. So it looks like among evangelicals, at least the people that they polled, 55% of evangelicals supporting Trump. And this is supposed to be some big, giant surprise and outrage, I think, from the lamestream. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think he's always been very strong with evangelicals. And I think a lot of the polls going in that showed President Trump below 50% actually didn't poll enough evangelical voters. So a lot of them were undersampled in some of those polls. But President Trump delivered for people of faith in his historic first term, the most pro-life president we've ever had. He's a man of his convictions. He delivers real results. And you know, the people of Iowa are serious. They know what's going on. They know what's at stake for our country. And they showed up tonight. And they're actually, I think, speaking for many, many people around the world. And they're sending a message to Washington that President Trump is coming back. We need our sovereignty again. We need our energy independence again. We need to stop the endless wars again. We need to have peace and prosperity. And that all comes back with President Trump.
Another entrance poll 8 years ago, so 2016, which is crazy that was 8 years ago. 40% of the people who went to this caucus, this entrance poll, 40% called themselves very conservative. And today, 54%. So a much higher percentage of very conservative. Of course, that would bode better for Trump and less for the other candidates. What do you make of that entrance poll?
Yeah, I think it's another sign that President Trump really has reshaped the Republican Party. He's actually given the voters something to show up for. He's given voice back to the people. I think we're seeing that again and again and again. And the disconnect has always been between those in Washington and the Republican Party and those who want to be a member of the Republican Party, but don't feel like they've had their voices heard, don't feel like they actually have representation. President Trump gives representation. He is a voice for the people. He follows through on promises. And really, it's all about common sense. It's not even about right or left. It's about saving our great republic. And so I think that reflects where the party has moved because they have an opportunity now. They actually have someone who's following through on the values and ideals that we all believe in.
What do you think Nikki Haley even potentially brought to the table in these last couple of weeks that made her rise in the polls?
Look, I think it's mostly a media creation. They know that DeSanctimonious crashed and burned. He wasn't going anywhere. So the media is trying to prop up another uniparty favorite. I mean, she's a globalist. She's literally funded by big Democrat donors, the same donors who've been funding lawfare against President Trump. I mean, you can't get more uniparty than that, okay? So you literally have just the same old globalist, warmonger. Talk about the reshaping of the Republican Party, something that's so stuck in the past that the voters have so moved on from and rejected at this point. So she's not really offering anything. Literally, she's getting Democrats to support her. And of course, the media is probably going to try to continue to prop her up to see if there's anything that they can do in New Hampshire, but it's not going to work. I mean, this should tell everyone exactly where the voters are and where the country is. We need to get serious about the general election, serious about our elections. I mean, I even heard Bret Baier tonight talk about, wow, paper ballots work. I wish he would tell his network because the Fox News apparently settles over, comments like that, multi-millions of dollars. But look, we need to this is a great exercise in what a constitutional republic actually looks like, the caucus system. There's so much transparency. And I think that was refreshing to see as well.
No, they count the votes right there. Apparently there was one caucus site that ran out of the official ballots, so they just used pieces of paper. Like they just used legal, like whatever, like that works. At least there's a paper ballot behind it, a paper trail. It's obvious. Right. So you mentioned that about Nikki Haley, and you say she's a media creation, and yes. But you're still going to have, and we'll see what the results are here soon, full results, or more full. She's still going to have something like 18% of the vote, or something like that. Who are those 18% of Republicans? And why do you think they would then turn around in a couple months from now and vote for Donald Trump if he's the official nominee?
Again, I think it's, trying to consolidate a never Trump vote, but it's honestly not that big, right? I mean, it's going to be much smaller than that. I think, as President Trump was saying over this weekend, MAGA is 90% of the party. It really is. And it's absolutely where the vast majority of the party is at. And that's why this race was called within the first minute of results coming in. So look, again, I think the media might try to make more of something a very, very distant second. But remember, as you said, the biggest record in Iowa was 12 points. And that stood for a very long time. President Trump, I think, is clearly going to break that. But as Eric Trump was saying earlier as well, it'll never be good enough for the media. But look, the people get it. They know. That's why they showed up in sub-zero temperatures today. I mean, they know how serious this is. We have to save our great country.
Yeah, the expression I've heard a lot of people say is, I would crawl over broken glass to vote for Donald Trump. And this is kind of close, negative 11 degrees. That's a pretty even par with crawling over broken glass when it comes to pain in order to go do that thing. But certainly the very conservatives came out and voted tonight. So what do you say to Ron DeSantis? Do both of those two candidates have enough money to even go another week until New Hampshire next Tuesday?
Look, I mean, they've already lit how much money on fire. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars that could have gone to unifying the party, that could have gone to shoring up elections and gone towards the general election. And instead, they've really wasted it. I mean, it really is a disservice, I think, to the people of Florida as well, who, wanted him to be as governor and actually in the state to deal with issues like their insurance crisis, name one. But I think it's far past the time that these candidates unify behind President Trump. This was never a competitive race. We know who our best fighter is in this ring, and it's Donald J. Trump. He's already proven himself. He's done it once before. He will do it again. And he's clearly the only real threat to this corrupt system. That's why they keep throwing sham indictments at him. They're so terrified of him. Why? Because they're terrified of the people. They're terrified that the people will have their say once again in November.
How do you describe what the media, what the elites, etc., think about the Donald Trump voter, those caucus goers who went out today? How does the media view them as people?
That's a great question. I don't think they look too kindly on the people. There's such a disconnect. Some of them just don't get it, have no relation to anyone in the real world. They're in such a bubble. But I think others have actual disdain for the average American, which is, really sad to see. I mean, you've seen it in the coverage of President Trump and his supporters since day one, and it's been terrible, and it's never been fair. But the people, that's why they really tune out a lot of the mainstream media. They don't let them choose who their nominee is going to be, right? They go on what actual results they're going to get, and they see what President Trump will deliver. But you know who has great respect for the average American? It's President Trump. And that's one of the many reasons why he's been so successful ever since he went down that golden escalator. It's because he cares for the people, he understands the people, and he really is a vessel for them. And for all of us, for every American who just wants a shot at the American dream, who just wants a strong border and national sovereignty, peace and prosperity, just common sense. And President Trump believes in all the same things that we believe in, and that's why he's running.
I think it was Chris Matthews yesterday who said that those rural voters, we have to I think we would have convinced them not to vote for their cult that is MAGA. So that's a good example of how they view the average Trump supporter. So Liz Harrington, as we have a lot to talk about with Iowa, but your campaign has moved on by now. How is New Hampshire different than Iowa?
Well, they are different, but President Trump still has a huge lead in New Hampshire and is very attractive to the voters up there. He's going to be there tomorrow night. Of course, they're dragging him into court during the day, but that's not going to stop him. He's going to be he's going to be giving a speech in New Hampshire tomorrow night. We have a great operation, a great team, but most of all, we have a great candidate. I mean, you don't see this in politics. This is a once in a lifetime candidate leader who is just so fit for this office and has done such a great job and connects with the people like he does. And just we witnessed it over this weekend when the weather was so horrible, but he said, I'm getting to Iowa no matter what. And I'm going to go sit down with caucus captains and do live streams, whatever I have to do to meet with the people, I'll do it. And there's something really, really special about that. The same connection will happen in New Hampshire. We have the same great ground game, different state, different dynamics, but same amazing candidate, same awesome movement, because this really is more than a campaign. It's a movement, and it's all about saving our great country.
Liz Harrington, spokesperson for Donald J. Trump. Thank you, ma'am.
Good to see you.
Have a wonderful night. So we'll come back. We'll give an update on, of course, Donald Trump won, but by how much is the question? And then who got second place? And what is second and third place going to do? We'll cover that for the next about 2 hours right here on The First. We'll pick it up tomorrow morning as we now start to simulcast Breitbart News Daily. I'm the host of that show on SiriusXM Patriot, now simulcasting starting tomorrow right here on The First TV every weekday morning from 7 till 9. The great Jesse Kelly will be with us next right here on our live Iowa Caucus coverage right here on The First.